I'm Dean Hall, otherwise known as Rocket. I'm the project lead on DayZ, and today I'm going to be showing you some stuff from the DayZ Stand-Alone project. Cool, so what I'm doing here is I'm flying around in a debug cam, just showing people something that we haven't really seen before. So we released a couple of screenshots. This is a new object that's in the world that we haven't, that was completely created for DayZ. This was actually created by a very talented artist. He was very interested in boats and stuff like that, and he actually interviewed a boat captain to build this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop inside the boat and just show you all the places that you can go around inside, and you can actually just like, have a total look around the ship, and we envisage this being used by players as like a real base and an area that they'll be going to be attacking each other over to see who's going to hold it. It's all completely lootable as well, so you can find loot in the different areas. It used to be an oil tanker, so that's actually what it's based on, is a big oil tanker in the world. So yeah, we're pretty excited about this area, and it just gives people an example of some of the new stuff we've got planned, like police stations, prison, all these sorts of things. So this is kind of the standard we've set for when we're adding new things to the standalone in terms of areas. So we've made 95% of the buildings enterable in DayZ. The other 5% we don't really want to do. Instead of making those enterable, we want to make new buildings and new things like this, so that players have these amazing areas that they can actually do. Who knows what they're going to do with this, like all sorts of crazy stuff. So just quickly, before we look at other stuff, I'll just do a quick flyby, just so that people who aren't familiar with DayZ get an appreciation of just how large the world is. So I'm traveling pretty fast over the terrain here, and you can just see just how expansive and huge the terrain actually is. We're putting a lot of work. It's all being redesigned by hand and redeveloped to make it more exciting, more interesting, with lots of new locations and redeveloping them. Yeah, so we're really happy with the results so far, and the performance is still really good as well. So yeah, and I guess the next step from here will be I'm going to show a little bit of game footage of actually running around on one of our multiplayer servers here at Gamescom. Okay, so one of the first things, I've talked about this before with DayZ, is we want to introduce players to their character. So the last character you've played always displays in the main menu. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go onto our internet server located in the UK and show a bit of in-game footage of actually what's going on. And I must stress, this is a pre-alpha, so there is plenty of bugs and plenty of things that are wrong. That's why the alpha hasn't been released yet, is because we're still working out all these things. So these are a couple of players here that are in game. So what I'm going to do, I guess just to emphasize for a start, I'm actually going to put my t-shirt on the ground there. So the thing to emphasize, we've got some roguelike feedback here, where you're getting feedback as to whether you want to eat, whether you want to drink, things like that. It's been inspired heavily by games like Jagged Alliance and the original XCOM. So I actually have to load ammunition into a magazine and things like that. I can also open the first aid kit, and I can get out a couple of items that I can interact with and different things like that. So let's try some out. So this is a Minecraft style quick action bar on the side here. So with my player here, I can actually put the, you can see there the syringe is going in and out of my hand, or a blood bag's going in and out of my hand. So I want to fill up this blood bag, so I'm going to actually put it in my hand, and I'm going to look at this player here, and I'm going to collect some blood. So again, it's this roguelike feedback. That player will be getting a message saying that I am taking blood from his character, and he could run away and stop it if he wanted. So now I've taken the blood bag, and you can see here that I now have that blood bag item, but it doesn't have a needle on it. So I need to get, I include this just because it's a good example of how the crafting system works. We wanted people to experiment with what can I do with a particular item. So you can actually pull that start kit and create a bag with an IV on it. So, oh dear, he's woken up, so he might be a little bit upset that I've taken his blood. Just stand still, buddy, and it'll all be fine. He's not going to stand still. This is very DayZ. Okay, well, I'm going to give his blood to another player then. So I'm putting my blood into this character, and once it's finished, that character will have their blood replenished. Cool. So yeah, that's just a little bit to show how the interactions work. Same thing with like handcuffs and restraints and signature syringes and things like that. So yeah, the quick bar is a really versatile little thing. You can see my character here. We've tried to do a lot of work making some fluidity of movements. We've still got a bit of work to do on that. We've put a lot of work into the weapons themselves to really make them pop and make them interesting. Worked on the sound, supersonic crack. You can see the working parts actually moving. And the weapons are all fully customizable, so you can actually, you know, I've taken the buttstock off there, and you can see there that the buttstock's actually off, and I could find a new buttstock to add onto it. One thing a lot of people don't realize is that these items that are displayed in the inventory are actually 3D items, so you can see the perspectives changing there, and if we ever get the Oculus Rift working with DayZ, that's really going to make it look fantastic. So this mission, the zombies have actually mostly been killed. That's very fortunate for me because the zombies look terrible at the moment. I tried very hard to get the existing tools we had around AI to deliver a good zombie experience, but we're not happy with the result there, so we've got some proposals to make a difference. So we'll be providing more information with that later on. Here's a zombie, so I'm going to shoot him. I'm glad I shot him there because I was embarrassed for a second that I was going to completely miss him. That's a good thing. Yeah, so DayZ is really all about scavenging. So you have to go in and you have to look at areas and see if you can find somewhere to loot and things like that. So as you can see, we do have plenty of bugs like this floating loot there. And this is why our alpha is not quite out yet. So this is a saline bag. Same deal with that other IV thing. I could put a starter kit on it, and it would be good to go. So I can put like a little check backpack on there, which would give me more space. Put a suppressor on my weapon. Yeah, there's heaps of different items there. What's that? It's a can of beans, I think. Yeah. If I had a can opener, I could eat those beans, yeah, and have them there. So one other thing, a lot of DayZ players have been very concerned about the development and the mod of this whole kill on sight attitude. So that has caused definitely a lot of problems with the mod. And what we have here is that if I get shot in my jeans, the condition of the jeans actually change. Not only would it change the jeans, but all items inside that. So if I got shot in that leg, the texture of that would become damaged, and the items inside would become damaged. And that means that if you just run around and randomly shoot someone, you're actually going to be damaging the items that they're holding, which means that players are going to be much more likely to hold other players up. So yeah, we've put a lot of work. This is Stary Sobor, and I think those who are very familiar with the area will notice that it looks really, really different. We've spent a lot of time just improving all areas of the map and going over it. So now you're doing a lot more to make the areas look better. We've got an interesting bug at the moment you can see here, where that's a male torso on a female character, so that's kind of terrifying. I'm going to drop that on the ground. I'm now like a little traumatized by that, and so there's a zombie, that's why he's standing still. I'll also put that on my back. Yeah. So we're still toying also with what to do about first person versus third person. We've got a few plans around that, and yeah, you know, whether we do context sensitive, forcing players to not use third person and these kinds of things. So maybe when you go on the ground like that, the camera zooms right in close, or maybe we force you back into first person when you go down on the ground. Because there are some times when you're running around, which you do, you know, a lot in Chernarus, that you want to be in third person, because it's just a good way to view your character and see everything that's going on. So yeah, look, I mean, there's a lot more that I can show. What we really wanted to show at Gamescom was just some progress with what we're doing, and you know, I think we're doing a good job of showing we've made some progress from E3. and we're looking forward to showing people some more progress coming up soon. So yeah, thanks very much, guys.